Welcome to the GDevelop 5 game development stream, and in this video we are going to see how we can replace our placeholder graphics with proper graphics, good quality graphics which we you can either buy from the internet or you can get an artist to make them for you. So it's really not very difficult to do. First thing you have to see that first you can simply go to Google and type uh, uh, 2D GUI sprites, right, which will give you some sprites for GUI. And you can go to itch.io, CraftPix and OpenGameArt. You will get free art over there. But if you want to buy some assets, you can go to GameArt 2D, CraftPix, or Unity Asset Store if that works for you. But the thing with Unity Asset Store is that if you buy anything on Unity Asset Store, then you will have to open Unity in order to use it. You can use it in Unity only, although there are ways using which you can extract the content outside of Unity, but you will still have to use Unity to download it. So that's a drawback with the Unity Asset Store. But you can go to CraftPix, you can go to itch.io, and you can go to opengameart.org, or you can go to GameArt 2D, and you can purchase your assets here and simply download them and use them in your games. So GUI sprites, if I will search for GUI. I'm at the no, it's okay. So it's the same page of it's the page for CraftPix. So it's the same product which you will find here. But here you can see that you have Kenny. Kenny's assets. Kenny is also good. Kenny.nl. You can download and purchase your graphic assets from Kenny, which is a very good website as well. And so and at GameArt 2D you can find lots of free sprites. I use the Ninja Girl for my game. You can use any one of these, whichever you want. You can purchase new ones, and you can click on GUI and see what kind of GUIs they have. So that's about it. And I guess you can watch the very first video in this series and see how you can import assets in your game. But I will just simply download a very small thing without, I will not pay for it right now, but you can purchase them because they are really good. And I will search for some free GUI pack, free and premium, free ones, because yeah, they there it is. Was one of them is free. Oh, I have another one. Wait, this one. So I will simply show you one example how you can replace your placeholder assets with with a purchased asset. So I will download it. You have to sign in to download. So the assets are now being downloaded. I will wait for them to download. So I have downloaded the asset and you can see that I have this folder. I had many folders and these are different formats of the asset. You can go to PNG and I guess you can click on main UI and if there is a background and it looks very good. So what I will do is I will simply click it and right click, I mean control and C, copy it and paste this background in the folder of my game, and in the assets folder you can put it and just paste it here, right? And now what I want to do is I want to replace this black background, with what I have downloaded. So this black background is called translucent screen. You can see in my objects list I have a translucent screen. So I will double click on it and it's a file. So I want to change the image, right? And the dimensions I will put some other dimension. I will check the dimension of my new image, which is 1080 cross 1920, and I will change it here. Wait, first I will choose the new image. Choose new image, and I will go to the assets folder and choose my bg.png, right? And I will put the size as width was 1080 and height was 1920 and click on apply. So now you can see that my placeholder asset has been replaced with a new asset which I have downloaded from the internet. And you don't have to download the free ones, you can get the paid ones also, and paid ones will be much better than free ones. So let me now run the game and see how it looks. So you can see that I can see this background, and in the beginning I am making the opacity value, I am reducing the opacity value of the background, so it is kind of translucent, but it's there. So you can simply, if you want to see it fully, you can simply change the opacity of the screen to something higher. Maybe you can change it to 200, it will be more opaque. And of course you can do this at the beginning of the scene only, so I will put it here, right? So and let me run it again. So you can see it's a little more better, right? So that's how you can change the background, and I think I will simply remove this. I will not change the opacity, and then I will see if how it looks like. So this looks very good, you know. kind of looking better than before. So that's how you can replace your, you know, placeholder assets with store bought assets. So let's try to replace these one of these buttons, one of them. So I will go to my asset which I downloaded, I mean here, and if I have some nice buttons, and you have regular buttons and active buttons. So these are buttons which are actually showing some icons, and I don't want this, and neither do I want this. I simply want, I think I will take this boss name table. This looks like a button to me, although the name is boss name table, but I will simply copy it. I'll paste it. Right, and let me now change the button to the what I have in the what I have copied, right? So this is my start button. I will simply double click on it. You can see I have this, but I don't want it, right? You can either delete it. First I think I will add an animation, and I will simply call it wall, but that will be bad, don't do that. You can simply add and click this, and you have it, but you have to delete this one. So how do you delete it? Oh yeah, you can do it this way. You can come here, right click and delete selection, and your previous button image will be deleted. So that's all you have to do. You don't have to edit the code, you don't have to do anything else. Click on apply, and you can see that it's very small, not as big as we would want it to be. So, and that may happen when you download assets from the internet. And what you should do here is that click on it, and you will see some properties, and you will also see width and height. You simply, if you drag it here, you can see that this button gets checked, and you can now edit the width and height using text. You can simply put it like this, simply, and you should note the width and height values. I will make them whole numbers, I mean, you know, 500 and 100. That's what I will type here, and now this is looking good. I have to do it for this and this also, and I remember the custom size as 500 and 100, right? So that's okay. Let me do it for leaderboard. Simply add it, this one again, and right click, select this one, and right click and delete and apply. So you have it. Now the size should be custom. It should be 500 cross 100, right? So, oh wait, yeah. So that's looking very good, and let me align it a little bit, the center. You can simply take this one's x value and that input it in this one, and it's the same. So let's do it for exit button. Add, choose the button and click checkbox, click the checkbox and right click and delete, apply. And I know that the size is custom and it is 500 cross 100, 500 width and 100 height. There it is, and the x value is 109. So there it is. It's looking good, right? And you can replace the icon also. We have a whole section for icons. You can see that I have these buttons, right? and maybe there is some button which I can use for account, as an account button. So you can see that mm, upgrade button, upgrade, right? So I can simply copy this upgrade button and put it in my assets folder, right? And I will change this upgrade button to that upgrade button which I have just purchased. So this is called upgrade screen button, and don't change any. I have three animations, so I will need three animations, although in my asset folder I only have two animations. I will simply download both of, copy both of them here. Oh, it's the same name. uh, I will put it somewhere else for now. And put it again, right? So I have a regular one and an active one. So I have idle, active and press animation, but I only have two images in my asset pack. So you can simply add your regular one in the idle and delete this one, and then in the active add your active one, delete this one, and in the press, don't delete the press animation, just simply add the idle one. If you don't have the animation for something, you can simply add the default one on under that animation, right? So that's good. And now simply click apply, and you can see you have the button, but it is very big. So click it and simply drag it to make it small. But if you drag it this way, what it will do is it will change its aspect ratio, which you don't want, right? So just look at the aspect ratio of it here. It is 210 cross 210, so it is a square image. So choose custom size and type 100 cross 100 and see if that is good for you. So that looks very good to me. 100 cross 100, not bad, right? So that's here. Oh, what this get this? How did this get changed? I think I undid something. Yeah, now it's good. 109. Yeah. So yeah, there it is, and I will change this one also. Let me if I have something. You can go for this menu button, right? Or I will take this one. Now you can simply add. I only have one animation, so I don't need this one. So I will simply right shift delete this. And check this and right click and delete on apply. And you can see it's very big, but you can make it smaller. Type the size as 100 cross 100, and there you go, it's looking better, right? And so this is just an example. So this way you can change all the placeholder assets which you have. Now let's see one more thing. I will go to my stage. Here I have the ninja girl, and you can see that ninja girl has so many images for each animation. So you don't have to change the animation, don't change the frame rate either if you don't have to, right? You sometimes you may have to change it, this, but most of the time you don't have to. If you import the same number of frames which you already have, then you don't have to change this. Okay, so what you do is simply get your new sprites and add them at the end, the same way we added the buttons. I am not doing it because I will have to download the sprites and do it, and it's a lot of work honestly, but I'm just telling you that's how you can do it. Because uh, and there is one more thing which is very important to note. If your sprites, I mean character sprites, this the size of this is something 361 cross 497, and this one has some other size, right? This one has some different size. First step is to simply replace the, I mean add new sprites and delete these one. That's your first step. Do it for all these, right? And your second step, which is important, second step is to go to edit points, edit points, right? If the size of your sprite is of your new sprite is different than the size of your old sprite, then you may have to move your points. So right now I have 3 points: origin, center and fire. Origin and center gets made automatically. When you import the sprite, origin and center points get assigned automatically, so you don't have to change them in most cases. Just make sure that your origin is at 0 cross 0 and center is at the center of the sprite, right? But the new point which you have made arbitrarily, I have made a fire point myself, that point should be at the location where you want it to be, right? I want my fire point to be here. So if you import a bigger sprite, then the point will stay at the same place, but your sprite will be much bigger, and that may cause some problems, visual problems. The game will work, but there will be visual problems. it will look like your bullets are getting out from the player's mouth, but you want them to go out from the player's hand. You have to put the fire point where the player's hand will be when they play the fire animation. So this is the second step which you have to do when you import your new sprites. So that's it. That's the two steps which you have to take when replacing character sprites. First add all of them and then delete the previous ones. After that edit your points. If you have, I mean, edit the custom points which you have made. Most likely we have to edit only the custom ones, and then you are done. I am not doing it because it's a lot of work, honestly, and there's nothing new here, right? And if I even if I download the sprite somewhere, let me see. Most likely they will be the same size. I got them from here, from GameArt 2D. So they have Knight and Ninja Girl. This is the one which we are using in the game. Then there is a Ninja Boy. Then there is a Cowboy Girl, Robot, some adventurer. So you can see that this fox, this is so small. Cat and dog. This is a smaller sprite. So the only thing which you may have to change when importing a cat and dog sprite is the hit points. You will have to change your points, right? That's all you will have to change. You don't have to touch the code, you don't have to touch the names of the animations, just edit the points. Of course, change the pictures, replace these pictures with the new ones, but edit the points also, because your new picture is smaller than your old picture, right? So I will not do it because it's a lot of work. It will take some time to do, and I think you have understood how to do it. But if you have some problems doing that, right, then you can comment in the comment section, and I will help you out if I can, right? Then I will make a video where I will actually do the replace the character, right? So I think that's all I wanted to show in this video, right? I have changed the art for main menu, but we have so many other menus where you can change the art if you want to. I'm not doing that because I have explained how to do it in main menu. You can go ahead and do it. So sometimes what happens is that when you are programming the game, you want placeholder sprites. You can get them online, or you can simply make little squares and little boxes and treat them like sprites, and later replace them with your actual sprites, which you may get made by some artist or buy from the internet, right? So that's all. And I think there were some bugs in the game, but I think I will fix them. I mean, there is nothing new here which I should tell you. So I have made it told most of the things which I have used to make my game. So there are going to be some little bugs, maybe there were some, I remember last time, but I will see to them myself. And if you have any more questions regarding gdevelop, right, or PHP server side programming, or Heroku, but related to what we have done here. If you have any questions, anything you don't know, and you would want to know how to do that, then you can put your questions in the comment section, and if I will know how to solve them, then I will help you out, make some new videos maybe, right? And then with that said, I would like to say that when you are making games, there can be two ways in which you can make games, right? First way is that you are working for a company and you are making the game as a product, and that company can be your own company too. Maybe you opened a company or a studio and you are making games as a product which you want to sell. So that the mindset which goes with that is different. And there is a second mindset, and that is you are making games for its own sake. You are making games because you like to make games. It's an art form, it's a form of self expression for you. And I believe that if you are an independent programmer, independent artist who is making games, then you may be better off by having the second mindset. You should treat your games like works of art and works of self expression rather than a product, because when you focus on product, then you have to, you know, adjust yourself and your product to match the demands of the market, right? Because you are making it like a product. But if you are making art, then you don't have to pay attention to anybody in the world or any kind of market or anybody else. You are making it because you want to make it art for art's sake. If you are doing that, then that is very good. Maybe nobody will buy your art, maybe nobody will play your game ever, but you don't care because you enjoyed making it, you enjoyed the art, you expressed yourself, and that is very important. You may not know how important it is right now, but as you learn more things, do it, and you will notice, maybe when you will be very old, then you will notice that yes, that was the most important thing, right? Expressing yourself truly and not giving in to the demands of the market. Let the companies do that, let the companies make the product out of games, but game development for an individual is a form of art and self expression. So if you want to make games, just make them. Don't care about the market. Forget that anybody is going to play it. Just make it for its own sake. And remember to have fun while making it. That is very important. Don't pay attention to the market or the people. Just do what you want to do. Write a game which you want to write. Right? Express yourself. That is very important. So with that said, uh, this was the last video of the series, and if you have any questions, anything more you want to watch, you want to know, any other questions on GDevelop, then you can put them in the comment section, right? Thank you for watching.